So I was at a small group study earlier this week, and we were reading through a few chapters of Exodus, and came across the story of Moses basically speaking with the Father, or Jesus, however you want to see that, and we can see here he was technically negotiating with him. Moses negotiating with the Father, but at the same time, we could see here that Moses knew God, he knew his personality, who he was, enough to know that when God essentially threatened to destroy and kill all the Israelites for making the golden calf whenever Moses was up on the mountain, and, God was like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to wipe all these people out and just start with you. Just alone with you. Moses knew God enough to say, no, that's not within your character. Take my life and save theirs. While, yes, in this case, it was a test on Moses' end, but at the same time, we see that clearly Moses had a close relationship with God, enough to know what was and was not within his personality and how he would do things. And of course, we look at today's world where we have people, supposed preachers, asking God, or basically praying or demanding that God kill specific people because of how these people are acting, saying, belief systems, whatever. And it's very clear that we again have the picture of basically false teachers and false preachers, pastors, whatever word, phrase you want to use, that have no idea God's character. All they know is religion. All they know is theology, doctrine, all that crap. But they don't know God's character, what he actually wants. All they know is what Scripture says, and they base it off on that, and not off of love. Of course, we do see that too with with the Pharisees in Jesus' time. But when will we actually get to the point where the majority of pastors, preachers, leaders, whatever word you want to use, actually know God and his character, rather than knowing Scripture and just knowing about him, rather than actually knowing how he is, his character, how he functions, how he does things. It saddens me greatly, because we can see all these things on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever video platform, and again, they're calling for the death of certain people, and these guys have no idea how God is. No, I'm not saying that I know God perfectly, no, but I have an idea, and I'm still growing, still learning. But from what I understand, by this point in Scripture, Moses was, 80-ish years old? We really don't know how long he had, grown and gotten to know God. But it just makes you wonder, how long did it take him to learn God's character and how he is? Because back then they didn't have the Bible. They didn't, I'm sure they had some forms of writing back then, but they didn't have they didn't have scripture, they didn't have the Bible. And Moses, whenever he was getting the tablets, that was basically Israel's first written instructions from God. So I ask you, do you know God's character? Do you blatantly pray, ask, beg, demand, etc. of the death of certain people, rather than saying, Father, take my life and save theirs? I know people who have literally given their life, not sacrificially, but I know someone who outright said, I would rather die so that this person can live. And I don't know if, or come to Christ. I don't know if that person ever did, but the heart shows loud and clear. It just shines so brightly there that she was willing to give her life and sacrifice so that this person might come to Christ. But on the whole other side of the dichotomy, we have pastors and preachers demanding the death of certain people just because they don't agree, or they're supposed heretics of what they believe in Scripture. They know nothing. Again, I don't know God perfectly. I'm continuing to learn, but I know that that's not right. And it, like I said, it saddens me. But I hope y'all have a good weekend. Y'all take care.